My name is Elliott Lemmon. I am a BMW technician working in BC, Canada. I've been in the trade since I was 16. I'm now 25. I started motorsport when I was 9 years old, racing go-karts. I worked in GT racing, and now drifting. From a young age, I've always been involved with anything with wheels. I started racing go-karts from 9 years old, and at 16, I then got an apprenticeship as a light vehicle mechanic at a British specialist here in Brisbane. During my apprenticeship, I joined the MTA Queensland race team. We built a Hyundai Excel and joined the X3 Cup Series, where we built the car from nothing and took it out there and learned everything it took to put a grassroots car together. I won an opportunity to work with 888 Red Bull Racing in Banyo, where I got to learn how they build the cars for the V8 Supercar series here in Australia. I worked with them at the track for 3 or 4 races, including Gold Coast, Queensland Raceway, and later on I worked up to the GT series they run at Bathurst 12 Hour. My time with Red Bull Racing led to a job with a team from Asia, Absolute Racing. I spent a year with those guys working in the Audi LMS Cup Series and the Blancpain Asia Series, which took me to China, Malaysia, Thailand and Japan. As a motorsport mechanic, we have quite a lot more than what the public would see on a normal race weekend. So you would go into the week starting Monday, unloading your truck, trailer, container, however far along the cars come from. You would unload everything, set the pits up. You would give yourself a work area. Then Monday onwards to Tuesday, you start to prep the car. You work with an engineer, they work with the driver and vice versa. You all communicate, work out the best setup for the track for the weekend, whether the conditions of the weather are going to be raining or sunny or hot. They work out how they want the car, from coilover settings to damper adjustment, tyre pressures, the tyres you need to run. Every little detail the engineer will work out, and me as a mechanic, I would fit the car to the spec, and we would list off a few things and we would just tackle the list. So by the weekend, the vehicle is as the engineer has predicted. Thursday, depending on the schedule of the weekend, there might be a practice on Thursday where the vehicles will be on track. Every morning and afternoon there'll be tyre change practice, where we have to practice to be efficient during the race. You can't be too short or too long, depending on the rules of the racing. So Friday's usually qualifying, final practice, and then you're into racing on Saturday, Sunday, depending on schedule, and that's when you've got to be on the ball. Come to race day, you've got your biggest day of the week. You've spent an entire week building up to this day, and you want to win. So you've got your group of people, depending on multi-car teams, you secretly want to beat them. When you finally get out there, you just hope that everything you did was right, and you're double checking everything, making sure the driver's right in the car, getting everything they need to be comfortable for depending how long the race is. And then once they're out there, it's the anxiousness, waiting and watching on the TV, and watching the battles is just insane. Putting all that hard work into a car that's going to win. After my time with Absolute Racing, I decided to come to Canada. I went over there to experience the trade in the automotive industry. I work as a BMW technician there, as well as working for a grassroots race team for circuit racing, Speed Fanatics, as well as my own drifting program, where I have built my own car. I've been drifting all over BC, Canada. I went to the island. I just went to Seattle, which is in the USA. I plan to do more in the USA next year because it is big there. I built the car from top to bottom, starting with a road car, and now I'm quite a capable driver. So why should you be a motorsport mechanic? It's a way of life, and and an addiction. Once you're involved, you won't get out. But I love it personally, and from a kid, I've always wanted to be a race car driver. This way I'm able to live a little bit of that, as well as just working on the cars. Nuts and bolts are my thing as well. You do have to be willing to work. You've got to be willing to, you've got to have a good work ethic. But to get involved, it's not too difficult if you're naturally just trying. You can approach race teams. A lot of the smaller race teams are good to approach because they always need help, and free help goes a long way. Starting just by sweeping or cleaning the small parts, and then all of a sudden you're changing tyres and doing more and more. When you're cleaning tyres or rims and you understand the wear patterns on tyres, it leads into your understanding of how the car goes around the track. But getting involved with the harder stuff is rewarding in the end. When you work your way to bigger teams, you have more fun with the bigger, exciting. You're always trying to one-up yourself. It leads to, in my eyes, the end goal, which is to work for the team such as 888 Red Bull or Absolute Racing. It was just by turning up, be willing to do the apprentice jobs as such, and be willing to learn and absorb. And if you're like that, and the attitude's good, people love to have you around, whether you're a good mechanic or not, and then you can get good. Lucky enough, I've been with some amazing teams that have won quite a lot. And seeing your team up on podium is just the best feeling, especially when you put all that work into the car. You get to see at the end, the car's all beat, bashed, but you've got a trophy and celebrations to really make up for it. And honestly, when you're there with your best mates, it's some of the craziest times I've ever experienced.